What's up? Alien Savages in the house, and welcome to another episode. Dum dum dum. Let me catch you up to speed. I have such challenges to start this podcast because I'm shifting in a new era, in a new phase, in a new cycle, whatever you want to call it, of consciousness. That there is this walk-in me that came in 2020, and it really wants to come through, and it's kind of hard to host it, to create a container around it in a podcast form, for example, right now. But it really wants to come through, and I'm just doing my best right now to moderate the container of this walk-in to come through. So I'm just gonna set the frame now, speaking really human, because something wants to come through that's really not so human. So let me create the container. Let me catch you up to speed. As you might know, or you're watching visually and you see this scar on my belly, that 2020 I had many surgeries on my stomach. It started with a ruptured appendix in Bali, and it got worse and worse. So I got prepared for this walk-in. That on the 5th surgery, October 2nd, 2022, I walked in. And it's I just learned to live with this walk-in for the last 4.5 years, and it's really unfolding that I start to remember more and more, the last days. This is really present, the remembrance of what happened, what this walk-in is. It's another aspect of me. It's nothing can enter you in a bad sense or anything. Nothing can possess you. I'm oh, I'm possessed by a demon, a ghost. Ooh. It's a walk-in is that, as Bashar likes to say it, more of your soul walks in the suit. Oh, hi, I'm here as well. Ooh. It's since this 5th surgery, since this walk-in, my whole reality experience is so significantly different that how much consciousness I can hold is through the roof. That it's really challenging to contain this. If you don't know, for example, Jesus, he had a walk-in. It's called Christ. Jesus Christ. Jesus, he was the human, as far as I understand it. I recently researched a lot about other walk-ins. And Jesus, the human, was suitable to carry the Christ walk-in. So Christ consciousness, the archetype, walked in to Jesus Christ. And as far as I understand it, that a Yeshua, I think it's called, or Yeshua, is the full embodiment of the mergence of Jesus, the human, and Christ, the walk-in. So he really learned to embody his walk-in and become an upgraded human, Yeshua. And this is where I really see myself right now on my path of merging Ferdi, the human. Hi. Hello. Hi. Hello. I'm just trying to do my best. I was prepared for this walk-in, and I was chosen to be worthy. And since it's here, it's great, but also really challenging. It's a constant rocket ship, and I'm just holding on. And it's great, but it's a lot. This is my human speaking, the Ferdi. Hi. Okay, I just put this frame around it, and I tried many times to run away and brush this off and call it nonsense and just doing old things, but it didn't work at all, and it made me miserable. So this is my path, and I love it, and also it's fucking a lot. Okay? I just wanted to say this. That's my human talking. Little Ferdi. Let's take a deep breath through the exhale. And inhale. As you can maybe hear it, I'm also physically sick the last days. My nose is running, feeling weak. I'm feeling icky in my chest. It's there are a lot of upgrades happening right now. I started to sleep outside in our garden in a tent the last 2 nights, and it's really it's like really activating and really grounding at the same time. Wow. So Faye and I, we ordered a second tent because it was her original excitement to sleep in our garden in the tent, and she loved it. And I was like, I want to sleep in a tent too. And now I slept in it. I'm like, oh my God, I love it. So we ordered now a second tent. So yeah, this is Faye and I. We're those people. So join us in our garden with a tent, and we do a camping night sleepover. Okay, back to the story. This is little Ferdi, and then there's this walk-in. And yeah, it's it's like really as I said in the beginning, I'm on like I reached a new phase. It's like things are moving so quickly since this walk-in happened, like so quickly that, you know, we always find like a new vibration, like we're following our joy, we're raising our vibration, and then we're like find and build a box of like, this is what I'm doing now, often for like weeks and months and sometimes years. Like, I'm gonna make my social media content now about whatever, like, you know what I mean? And these boxes are amazing. And same for me, I still create these boxes. Like, I'm living right now in this fairy house in Bantai with Faye, and we're really dropping in our relationship, and it's so divine. And I'm like living a really balanced life of living in spirit and mostly like being in nature, but also being really social and being a spirit guide to others and being amongst the humans. And so it's a great box I am in right now, but it's just changing so quickly. And what I said at the beginning, that it's challenging right now to record podcasts, because I have like my old box, how I used to record podcast. And especially in German, I'm like still comfortable with that, because it's mostly Ferdi, I run the show, and the walk-ins just come through when it comes through. But in English, and this is now coming for a while, and I was like sitting there at the waterfall, I'm like, oh, like, do I have to record a podcast in this way? Like, I sound like a lunatic. Like, this is not, I don't know, like, but I just get like, quote unquote, pushed and pushed. And it's like really present for a while that in English I tried now in different ways to make this new box to allow this walk-in to like come through, because he has a lot to share with you, like a lot. And I want to give him like full space, and also I need to create a box for him. And this is so trippy. Like, for example, just now preparing this podcast, it like really started like, oh, it's coming out strong. Like, oh, I'm like shape-shifting energetically in this walk-in. Let's call him V Gains. I don't have a name for him right now, but let's call him V Gains. Like, Ferdi is my human high, and V Gains is this walk-in. I look at my phone, like setting up the podcast right now, and it's like the walk-in V Gains is fully there. And I'm looking at my phone, my iPhone 14, and I'm like, this is Ferdi's iPhone. Like, I'm happy he does all this stuff. He does all the WhatsApp messages and emails and posting on Instagram. This is his phone. And it's just so trippy, because Ferdi is also inside the suit, like, hi, but he gets more in the background. It's like, you know, when, for example, Bashar, when he starts, I mean Daryl Anchor, when he starts to channel Bashar, it's like the channel, the human, Daryl Anchor, he goes more in the passenger seat, and the Sasani, the extraterrestrial, Daryl Anchor channels, Bashar, he gets in the driver's seat, that he starts to be in control of the meat suit and starts to speak vocally, like channel vocally. And Daryl Anchor, he can always like take the steering wheel and get back into the driver's seat. But it's this, his excitement, like he lets it come through him and gives him space. And this is also what's happening inside of me. Now the lotus is getting uncomfortable. Let's get out of the lotus. it's just like for Bashar or Daryl, I find it quote unquote really simple that he's just like vroom. It's like pretty much unconscious, and Bashar really runs the show. And over the years, he set it up so well that Daryl Anka, he channels No Bashar for over 40 years. Can you imagine? Like, he really like built an amazing box. And this is right now, I'm really finding my box to let this walk in. Let's call him V Gains. Again, I don't know if this is the final name, whatever that means. To let him come through, because he wants to come through and share a lot. But so now I'm like more my physical mind again of like finding the space, because it's like the sweet spot, you know. I don't want to sound too alien. I don't like listening to Bashar so much anymore. Like, don't get me wrong, I love Bashar, but it's just like not embodied. I'm like, hi, hey you, yeah you're a fellow human, right? Okay, let's connect. We're here on Mother Earth. I'm watching The Last Kingdom right now with Faye. It's a show on Netflix, and it's so good. It's like Vikings versus Christians, and it's like their nature, and it's like, it's so human in a sense. Like, these Vikings are like animals, savages, and then these Christians trying to get some order, to like shift more out of too much savageness, so we just kill each other. And watching this, like these energies, I'm like, you know, we watched another episode this morning. Faye made a matcha. As I said, I'm not feeling so well. We're in bed, and it's so primal. And we put my MacBook to the side, and we start to fuck. And it's like, ah. And this is what I mean. I want to make this, and you hear it in my voice. Maybe today I'm a little sick, but my voice really dropped deep in my belly, because I became such a integrated, embodied human. And also my channel is fully open since 2020, since this walk-in. My channel is so open all the time that the first years, though, I was too alien, that many people couldn't grasp me, couldn't follow me. And just the last years, like since Brittany walked in my reality, she really helped me with that, becoming like a better human in the way of being more understood, how I talk, how I elaborate. And now I really find myself in this like integrated space. What I gave the example of Jesus Christ, Jesus the human, Christ the walk, and becoming Yeshua, the like embodiment of that all. And I'm like here to document my journey. Am I saying I'm Jesus Christ? No, duh. I'm saying I'm Ferdi, figuring this thing out we call life, and really awakening right now, and remember, and I'm meant to share my journey. That's why I'm here right now, and I figure it out as I speak. I really allow you full, unfiltered access into my brain and into my heart, and I figure it out as I speak. And this is exactly, this is now the new level of sharing what wants to come through here. That often in my past podcasts, I already like received downloads or like went through something and then I shared, and I'm still gonna do that. Like, I love doing that. But also what wants to come through right now is just like in the moment, something wants to be birthed, and recording that. Like, hey, let's record this and witness this as it unfolds in the now. Oh my God. Let's take a deep breath. Fully exhale. And inhale. And it is really challenging for me, because I so quickly get in my mind of thinking ahead, okay, what to talk next about, and create a little framework, a little box of like, okay, now I speak about that. But this is exactly what I'm prepared to get out of, like really completely lose my mind, like get out of my mind and just let through whatever wants to come through. And it's so much easier for me, and I love my old boxes, and as I said, I'm still gonna use them, where I already processed something, I already experienced something, and I tell you the story. Like, one of my last German podcast, like the whole visa thing where like Brittany kicked me off the visa. I like once I processed it and everything, I shared it in a German podcast because there were a lot of quotes in it, like from a really grounded space. And also it was already processed. Like this is like so easy for me, you know. But this year is really challenging because especially for me, I woke up through my mind. Like now I learn to really get out of my mind. And staying present out of my mind and in this like channeling state of letting the walk in, Vigain speak, and also having the frame around it that that Ferdi, here, me, hosts it. Because like Ferdi constantly, as I speak, is like, oh shit, should I just stop this podcast? Whatever, I don't make much sense. Oh, I need to like blah 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 blah. And I, yeah. So yeah, I get it that maybe not many people want to watch these podcasts right now. I get it. I don't even know what they are, but I know in maybe a couple weeks this will really form into something solid, and I have this new solid container. But right now it's just like I know I'm gonna upload this. Like I already made the commitment. Otherwise, this doesn't work. But yeah, if I get it that maybe you're like, oh, what the fuck, and wanna like turn it off. I get it. But I also get like how exciting, because I don't know what's gonna happen next. Like literally like next moment. That's why many loved my podcast right after ayahuasca, because I did podcasts every day and I was doing it in this style. But there I was really ungrounded. I was like on the verge of psychosis. Like for me, psychosis means losing touch with this consensus reality. And I was like on the verge to it. So it was like really engaging to watch, but it wasn't for me grounded. So my physical mind was constantly like freaking out and like taking over, like Ferdi, hi, me. And now I'm just like, okay, I have V-gains on the leash, or I don't. But we're just like walking side by side, and we're actually finding the symbiotic relationship of now you speak, now I speak, and we're becoming one. Yeah, you see? What do I say after that? I'm just like, I just got full body goosebumps. I'm like, oh shit. Because it's like these moments now. I don't like teach you something. I don't tell you something. You witness me, or I witness myself rather, both, remembering and like pulling something through. And right in front of you, I'm changing who I am, because in real time, I'm remembering more and more of who I am. And as I told you, the last days, like especially since Monday, I made a German podcast about it. My latest one, it's called like We're Building a Hogwarts on Kopangan. Because Vicky and many people she chose, including her daughter Sahara, we went to Dragon Soul and did like a sunrise manifestation and went down into a dragon cave. And we're really all coming together, like all the soul families are forming right now. And we are getting together and having the same vision of a Hogwarts, of a mystical type school on the other side of the island. I mean, in the east, like here, where I'm right now. I'm in Tansadet, like, because here is like mostly nature. And when you raise your vibration, you're just like so sensitive. You need a lot of nature around you. You're energetically so big. You need energetic hygiene around you. And anyways, talking to Vicky's daughter, for example, Sahara, like she's also a walk-in. She walked in when she was 4 years young. And when she told me her story, something in me activated that before that, I still had this limiting belief of somehow brushing it away. That this whole walk in, more of my soul walking in my suit, like, whoa, hello, who's there? It's maybe a story. I maybe made that up. So I was still like not fully allowing myself to look at it. And when I heard her sharing her story, how she like walked in when she was 4, I felt the authenticity in her story, and then I allowed myself to let this limiting belief go and fully like look at it, that like this happened to me. And since then I'm like so activated that I start to remember so many things of when I was laying in the hospital, waking up from the surgery, and how like so many things I haven't fully like consciously remembered of. I was so picky with my food, for example, because I had different taste buds. There were like so many things. I can talk now forever. But yeah, shout outs to Sahara. She's really cool. Thank you for telling her story. Yeah, should I tell her story in a nutshell? I think I have permission. So in her life before, so she remembers her life before. I don't. I think this will also like open soon. In her life before, she was like a middle-aged woman in Italy, and she went to the water, like fountain or well, whatever it's called, like, you know, where you get the water. And as she was walking there, someone behind her came and killed her with an axe in her skull. And then, as far as I understand, her soul, you know, goes into spirit, having the life review, la 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 la. And her walk-in part also goes up in spirit, and as she had the visual, like this part, like her walk-in was speaking, like, hey, I'm in this room, in this dark room, and there are many doors. And there are so many people begging for this walk-in of hers to enter them, because this will make their life, quote-unquote, way easier. It's like a big gift to receive. And she was like walking, like looking in all these doors, and then she stopped at one door where there was this little 4-year-old girl, Sahara, just like sitting cross-legged on the floor and being really peaceful, like not begging. And then she was like, oh, this is where I'm excited. And then she entered and she remembers the whole moment. And I think it's also quote-unquote easier when you're younger and when you're already like living on Kopangan and have like Vicky as your mother, where you can live fully in spirit, like all this stuff. For me, at my walk-in, I was 28. And I really needed those like 4 surgeries prior to like get in a really trippy state. And then in this 5th surgery to really be in a hospital where I was on many medications to like cope with it. Because it's like you wake up as a different you. And every thought that came to me before, like all the same thoughts come to me, because I am 100% the Ferdi I was before, but way more than that. All of a sudden you have like a quantum computer that I think the same thoughts as before, like, oh, I cannot wait to go back to the gym. And all of a sudden it's like, okay, you go back to the gym, you rebuild your muscle, and then what? It's like this, like thinking it around many corners that you like never thought as far before. Like all of a sudden, all my dreams crumbled, because my dreams as like little Ferdi before the walk-in were so shallow. Like how most people still have these ego-based dreams of, like me, I'm gonna be a famous rapper, a German rapper, and a big YouTuber, and I do my vlogs and teach people positivity, how to follow your joy, the formula. And I was just looking like Logan Paul, Jake Paul, like looking up to them, like I'm gonna reach millions, and this was my dream. But I never thought further than that. And all of a sudden this walk-in is there, and I'm like thinking about my dreams, going in my imagination, and I'm like, oh yeah, I'm gonna do these vlogs and I reach millions. And then there's this other voice all of a sudden that's always like, and then what? More millions of views and money, and then what? I am president of the world, and then what? And all the money, and then what? And then I'm like, oh, my dream is ego-based, and if I go further and further, it leads to a really lonely place. Okay, wait. Where is the sweet spot? Oh, like decoding it like quantum computer style. all of a sudden, like this huge shift in consciousness. And then like, and since then, like since 2020, since that happened, this is when the hate started. That before that, my social media was overall pretty healthy. And then I just got so much hate because this walk-in was constantly like also speaking. And it was just like so triggering for people because it like was shaking all their prison cells of the programming that goes so deep. And it was shaking it all that people like freaked out because they didn't want to like, they want to stay in their boxes. We gotta like try to destroy this and brush it off and hate it and just yeah. And since then, I just learned to live with it. And it's like, it was so challenging. Like, what the fuck? I didn't have any manual script, any instructions. I just like try and error. Oh, okay. Oh, Berlin, too much noise. I need to like retreat. I need to go to Austria, to our vacation hut and I stayed there alone for 3 months. Can you imagine? And all of a sudden my synchronicity, like my dreams, they so changed. And all of a sudden, since that, I'm like, got so guided. This is a really positive one. Like, I love how guided I am these days. But it's these days for me all about the mission. That I don't just like watch anything anymore. Like before, like, oh, what's cool? Oh, Squid Game season 2. I just watch it. And no, there's this walking like, bro, you watch it and then what? Your soul won't remember this. This is just distractions. Most people that are living a ego-based life, and nothing wrong with that, it's just really low vibe, like money and views and follower and all materialistic stuff, their soul upstairs, they hardly or don't even remember these timelines. Because there was no soul growth. It was just like all made up like distractions. So that's why like, no, I haven't watched Squid Game season 2, and maybe I will, but I really like, oh no, The Last Kingdom. Ferdi, they are codes for your soul growth together with Faye. Wow. So, but yeah, not that I'm like special or I am special, but I'm just as special as everyone. And the formula of following your highest excitement works the same for all of us. So really like follow your joy moment to moment. There is something for your soul growth. Like following your highest excitement is the quickest way to raise your vibration, to remember who you are really and why you came here really. So I really cannot emphasize it enough to study the formula. Like Bashar, he puts it so well, because they literally, Sasanis, they see metaphysics, they see the structure of reality, and the formula of how to follow our joy is in the structure of reality, and it is the way, the quickest way, as I just said, to remember who you are. And if you don't want to remember quickly, like I get it. Many chose like a normal timeline where they stay asleep. But anyways, just wanted to point it out that I'm not more special or anything. But yeah, since this walk-in, it got so mission-driven. Like I'm on this constant quantum jumping that an amazing box unfolds in Berlin, and I start to do meetups and retreats, and it's blossoming, and it's a golden age. And then I outgrew it because my consciousness reach this peak that now I can make a lot of money with it and keep doing it and all the 3D blah blah. But my consciousness has peaked. So now it's like not excited at all about these things in this way. And then like Britney comes in and we host play parties, and then it's like whatever, a karmic relationship with so many soul lessons. And once the soul lessons are done, like reached our consciousness, we both like separated. And this is where I'm like, they're like, yeah, like with Faye, you know, I love her so much. And I'm at this point where I'm like, I'm really taking a saying in like how the timeline unfolds. Like, hey, I choose Faye. I love her. Like, I don't want to like that we like outgrow each other and go separate ways. Like, oh, my storage is full. I love her. I want to do this together with her, side by side. And she's my woman. Period. Okay, I'm gonna delete my trash. Let's do a quick cut. And I'm back. So yeah. It's like uploads and downloads. Uploads is physical mind to higher mind. Download is higher mind to physical mind. And I don't use many uploads because I just like trust my guidance, because I saw too many times from the perspective of my higher self. Higher self, higher mind, same. That, oh, it's unfolded perfectly, exactly as I would have chosen it. Why? Because who do you think your higher self, higher mind is? It's you. And of course, it like when you get a look, a peek sneak in like your whole soul contract, what is unfolding in this timeline, what is to come, your destiny in this one, you're like, oh yeah, because I chose it. It's amazing. Why would I change it? So I like really trust it, and like I stay mostly in gratitude, because gratitude is also the quickest way of the unfoldment. If you like appreciative of the now and see that now is perfect, so thus it can unfold more. But I do uploads of like things like, for example, with Faye, because I'm like, I love her so much, you know, like it's like we do have a saying, and it's like merging, you know, we're becoming our future selves, our higher selves, and you always have a choice. You're always given a choice. There were so many times where I could so feel, okay, Ferdi, if you now don't make the quickest quantum jump, it's not Faye. It's then someone else. Like always, there will be someone, and it's all perfect, and there is no fucking up. But it's just like same lesson but different phase. And once you like, yeah, get attached to a phase, because I'm still human, and I want to keep that part. Like I really want to keep that. And this is like what scares me, because I get so alien, and I'm scared of myself, because I really detach. I'm so detached from everything, and I don't want it. And I synchronistically got so many movies in my life that showed me when I become too alien that it sucks. That the humanness, the emotions, it's where it's at. So I want to be attached to Faye. I want to do it with her. Because why? Because I love her so much. Period. She's my best friend. So, yeah. Okay, now I'm in my head again, because the storage was full. The angle is like... Yeah, I think that's it. So now I'm in my head, and I'm thinking about this podcast, and I'm like judging it a little, and I'm getting like a little emotional right now. Yeah, because it's a lot. Yeah. Because it's like I'm feeling like I'm at another level of vulnerability, because like I'm so good in being authentic, and also having like a armor, a suit, and a big shield around me, and like, okay, today I talk about something. I have so many things I would love to talk to you about it. Like Faye and I yesterday, as every morning, we're pulling like Osho cards, and we're having like such big insights, but I could do an entire podcast about it, and it's more like shielded because it's already processed, and I can look really well in a sense of how I articulate myself, and it's more crisp. Fuck that shit. It's great, but like, I'm like I really want to put myself naked. I tried OnlyFans, and again, it was only for like raising my vibration to like crow, and as soon as I outcrow it, I stopped, and it was great. And you can still sub. It's on my website. But yeah, like what I'm saying is like, yeah, stripping myself naked, like figuratively, like with my consciousness, like this is now my step of evolution. And it feels, it feels next level vulnerable. And I'm like, it's like now my little Ferdi comes out. It's like, I'm already so far. Like I guess the fear right now is to strip anyone out by crowing too fast. Yeah, I guess that's the fear. Because I'm pretty sure I already shifted in the new timeline. Like I could feel it that I think, and this is like, I don't know, I think Faye, when I met her, she already like, when I met her, shifted in the new timeline. That's why it was so hard for me to be with her, because it was so uncrowning. Every remaining thing came up, and now since like middle of November last year, especially since we moved in this new fairy house, I feel like I shifted in the new timeline. that I'm already living in the new earth, because it's all energy, it's all vibrational. And in fact, many of us have already shifted. But it's not like you don't get a certificate or someone is telling you, congratulations, it's just a feeling that all of a sudden, like, your physical things go away in a, like, you're like I don't have pain right now, I'm like quote unquote sick, but I'm like, I feel good, and I like, my 3D things are really like flowing, and my finances are really flowing. It's all like, it is like same but different. That it's just like, oh, this is like, what's going on, like. And yeah, that's why, like, why do you think I want to build a Hogwarts, a mystical type school, that all these steps of awakening, because they're always the same in the core. I mean, how we experience them on the surface, totally different and unique, but in the core they're the same. And I would love to like build a box around that and structure that many of us can have a more smooth awakening. And not like me wake up in a hospital on the 5th surgery and be like, what the fuck? But like can be in a ceremonial vibration where your major plug in your back gets like out. And you like look around and they're like beautiful people, mature women that are so grounded and hold you and playing music. And it smells like incense and water's running and it's dreamy colors. And you're watching out and there's a sunrise. And you're surrounded by a tribe that holds you, and they're like, welcome to the other side. My storage is full again. I don't know. This is weird. Usually I have like a bunch of storage to like record podcast. So yeah, not having a visual makes me excited to end the podcast. Maybe it's a little too high vibe what I'm sharing here, and I should like cut it now because I don't know why. Because maybe otherwise this podcast doesn't make it to YouTube at all. So we just like sip it here and leave me with actually a lot of excitement to continue in this way. Because what I just touched upon, like these ceremonies, these visions that keep coming back, and really like I see such a clear texture of what's to come and crystallize it into the 3D as I speak it, so we collectively can envision and project the same dream into this reality. Especially my projector friends out there, it's time to detoxify and clean your suit, that you don't project bullshit anymore, but we can use our capacities to project collectively the new earth. Yeah. Okay, please give me feedback. The comments are back on. I would love to hear how you liked that. Was it too weird? Was it too alien? Or was it just perfect? So yeah, please, your feedback always means a lot. Please be nice. Thanks for listening. Until next time. Peace out.